I want to get your take on Evan Bouchard last night, because I looked at some of the numbers for this guy and it was absolutely incredible. The stats he put up in that game. At 5-on-5, he played 16 minutes and 58 seconds. Yeah, I went and got his shift breakdown from Natural Stat Trick. So 25 shifts. He started 13 of them on the fly. Sorry, not 7. 13 on the fly. Just one of his 25 shifts came starting in the O zone. And yet the Oilers outshot the Kings 16-3. There were a bunch of times where I just noticed him making these, they're not even like obvious breakout passes, but they're like sneaky little passes in his own end where it's maybe only 12 to 14 feet away, but there's a forechecker coming. He's just calm and he slips it up perfectly to the winger. That breakout pass is, like, I think he's the best passer on this blue line. It's probably not even close. I thought he had a great game again last night.
Yeah, those are the things that when he got drafted, those are part of the reason why. Obviously, his offensive instincts and those breakout passes, like that. The minute he got into the NHL, that's always been his calling card. He makes those little slip passes that honestly not a lot of the defensemen can. Like you look at Nurse, you look at Cece, like these guys aren't making those same passes like Bouchard is, and that's a really nice piece of his game. So it allows the other forwards to be a little bit, more offensive minded when he's out on the ice. But on the same at the same side, like flip side, sorry, him and Ekholm together have really bonded. They've gelled together, and they've made it very hard for opposing forwards. And Bouchard has just really taken off. So I love the way he's closing time and space on forwards. Before Ekholm got there, he didn't do that, which allowed guys to kind of pick him apart a little bit. But now he's just got this confidence all of a sudden. And you're like, oh man, this is a completely different defenseman.
Yeah, and I know it's been kind of a complaint for some people when it comes to Bouchard, is it feels like he's not engaged in the game because he's got that look about him, and he never seems to take like a frantic step in any direction. Like he almost just floats around there. Like even when he gets pissed off in a scrum, like he's just got that look on him that you're like, what's even going on between the ears? But I almost think that like cool as a cucumber approach helps him in the O zone or in the D zone. We even saw yesterday, there's a forechecker coming on him and he's just like, I'll make a quick tight turn here, I'll spin around and boom, I'll find my guy. Like it's almost an asset for him.
It really is. Like guys are competitive in different ways, and not everybody's going to be that amped up, animated guy. Like, and for him, he's just cool, calm, and collected, and he exudes that. Like one of the guys in the NHL or used to be in the NHL that was probably the biggest for that was Carey Price, right? Like he most nonchalant person I think I've ever met, and the Bouchard is eerily similar to that.
Yeah, and I know the Oilers have had coaches in the past who like maybe it didn't come up publicly, but like they hated that about him and like could not stand it. Didn't think he'd be a long-term NHL guy. And I like that Woodcroft, even when Bouchard has kind of made some mistakes here, you think back to game 1 and the cross-checking penalty and all that, he just keeps throwing him out there and keeps giving him opportunities to kind of make up for it. And I mean, 3 more years of him, because he's an RFA for a handful more, Ekholm's under contract. I think that pairing is a chance to be like a very, very good one for the Oilers for a while.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I learned from a coach, Guy Boucher, was that coaching has evolved over the years, and you can't have the old school guys that think you got to coach everybody one singular way. What I figured out from him is that you've got egos on the team, you've got 20 egos on the ice, so you've got to manage each guy differently. And maybe Bouchard just reacts better to what Woodcroft's doing as opposed to whoever was in the past just giving it to him every single time he came off the ice. Like, unfortunately, players now in this era, they don't have to deal with the here comes 10 F bombs the minute you come off the ice. Maybe it's like, hey, take a look at the iPad. Could you have made a different play here? Could you have made a different play there? And now they respond to that. So I think, Woodcroft's done a really good job of managing everybody on the team.